Have you ever wondered why some people seem to sail through every flu season, every cold wave, and every unexpected health challenge with barely a sniffle, while others find themselves catching every bug that comes along? If you've noticed that it's easier to get run down as you age, you're certainly not alone. Many folks over 65 feel their immune system isn't quite as resilient as it used to be. But there's something that might surprise you. For centuries, cultures around the world relied on a handful of timeless techniques to stay healthy well into old age, long before modern medicine. These ancient methods didn't vanish by accident. They slipped away in a sea of new technology and fast-paced lifestyles. Yet their power remains, quiet, steady, and available to anyone willing to rediscover it. This is more than just avoiding the sniffles. A strong internal defense system can change the way you enjoy your golden years. It can mean fewer worries when visiting loved ones during cold and flu season. It can mean maintaining that vitality to pursue your passions, from gardening to grandparenting, with confidence. And it can help you avoid the emotional drain of feeling weak or unwell. The truth is, our immune strength is not just about taking vitamins or popping pills. It's about nurturing the deep connections between our minds, our bodies, and the environment around us. Imagine getting through the next holiday season without having to say no to special gatherings because of fear of catching something. Or imagine waking up feeling more energetic, calm, and ready for a new day, rather than dealing with lingering fatigue. This isn't a far-fetched dream. Many seniors across the globe are achieving it, often guided by health principles that trace back hundreds, if not thousands, of years. The exciting part is that these principles can integrate seamlessly with the advice you already receive from healthcare professionals. Over the next few moments, we'll explore 6 key insights drawn from time-honored wisdom and backed by modern understanding of the human body. You'll discover which common misconceptions might be quietly undermining your immune function. You'll learn about age-friendly practices that don't require you to twist your body into impossible poses or eliminate every treat you enjoy. And you'll see how making even the smallest shifts in daily routines can create a ripple effect of better well-being. By the time we're done, you'll have a practical blueprint for strengthening your immunity from the inside out, so you can live with greater vitality and peace of mind. My name is Sarah, and for the last 20 years, I've dedicated my life to understanding how holistic wellness can empower people at every stage. I've spent countless hours learning from traditional healers, observing the dietary habits of communities known for longevity, and diving into emerging research on how our lifestyle choices affect our immune defenses. And while this isn't medical advice, your personal healthcare provider remains your best guide for individual concerns. It's my privilege to share the blend of knowledge that's helped so many seniors uncover a new sense of vigor. Before we dive into these 6 transformative points, take a moment to reflect on what your life might look like if your immune system felt stronger and more dependable. How would your day-to-day experiences be different if that nagging worry about getting sick was no longer top of mind? Sometimes envisioning a healthier future is the spark that helps us take the first step. Let's begin by challenging a few common assumptions about what it takes to fortify our inner defenses. The first place to look is at our thoughts and emotional patterns, a realm many of us underestimate when it comes to immunity. Many seniors have spent decades hearing that physical health issues are primarily a matter of genes or unavoidable wear and tear. The idea that what goes on in our minds and hearts could shape our ability to ward off illness might feel foreign. But here's the surprising reality. Stress, worry, and mental fatigue can be just as influential on your immune defenses as a balanced diet or physical exercise. It's not that your genes or physical health don't matter. Of course they do. But the key misconception is thinking that you have no control at all once you hit a certain age. Take the example of George, who's 73. For most of his life, he considered himself a worrier. Whether it was his finances, his kids, or global affairs, he'd wake up and go to bed with a mind swirling in concerns. Gradually, he noticed every minor cold seemed to hit him harder and stick around longer. He assumed it was just part of getting older. It wasn't until he tried a simple guided meditation class, something he was convinced wouldn't do anything, that he saw real change. The first few sessions felt awkward, but over time, he learned to gently redirect his mind away from anxious spirals. Within a few months, he reported fewer headaches, better quality sleep, and an overall feeling of being lighter, both physically and emotionally. He was even surprised to find himself recovering from seasonal sniffles faster than usual. What George's story illustrates is a link that modern scientists are increasingly studying. Chronic stress and negativity can keep our bodies in a low-grade fight-or-flight mode, wearing down immune resources and making us more susceptible to what's going around. When we're calm and emotionally balanced, our body can focus its energy on repair and defense. So how can you harness this idea in your own life? Start by setting aside just 5 minutes a day for a simple calming practice, like mindful breathing. Sit comfortably, close your eyes if you're able, and take a slow, deep breath in, imagining your lungs filling with pure, cleansing air. Then exhale gently, picturing any tension or worry leaving your body along with that breath. Repeat this for a few minutes, allowing your thoughts to settle. It might sound almost too easy, but it trains your nervous system to slip into a more restful state, which then supports immune function. If 5 minutes seems too long, try 2 minutes. The key is consistency. Besides the physical benefits of reduced tension on your body's defense mechanisms, the emotional payoff can be huge. When you feel calmer, you're more present for moments of joy, like a phone call with a grandchild or a visit with friends. You might notice that you have a little more energy for the hobbies you love or the everyday tasks that used to leave you drained. Best of all, this approach doesn't require special equipment, an expensive membership, or any radical lifestyle changes, just a little willingness to step away from daily stress. By challenging the assumption that immunity is purely physical, you open the door to the first piece of the ancient puzzle, fortifying your defenses by tending to your emotional garden. Now let's explore another common misconception that might be holding your immunity back. And this one has everything to do with ancient herbal and culinary traditions. For decades, many seniors were told that boosting immunity meant taking vitamin C tablets and perhaps some cough syrup at the first sign of sniffles. While there's merit in certain supplements, a major misconception is that these are the only ways to strengthen your body's inner shield. Countless elders throughout history maintained vibrant health using botanical allies, herbs and spices with potent immune-supporting qualities. And these aren't complicated remedies that involve trekking through remote forests to gather exotic plants. Many of them are in your kitchen spice rack right now. To illustrate, consider Carol, who's 68 and recently started adding a teaspoon of turmeric to her soups. She'd heard stories from a friend about how her grandmother in India swore by golden milk. Milk gently simmered with turmeric and ginger. Carol was skeptical. After all, it was just a spice. But a few weeks in, she noticed she felt more energetic and seemed to bounce back from her usual seasonal allergies faster. Her discovery inspired her to explore more traditional herbs like oregano, garlic, and ginger. What she found was an entire world of flavor that not only made her meals more enjoyable, but seemed to offer a gentle lift to her overall wellness. The evidence-based perspective? Many herbs and spices contain active compounds that can help modulate inflammation and support immune activity. For example, garlic has long been studied for its potential antibacterial and antiviral properties. Oregano is rich in antioxidants, and ginger is known for calming an overactive inflammatory response. By incorporating these regularly, in soups, teas, or sprinkled onto your meals, you're tapping into a reservoir of natural plant-based support. If you want to get started, pick one herb or spice that appeals to you. Let's say you choose ginger. You can grate a little fresh ginger into hot water with a squeeze of lemon to create a comforting morning tea. Or you might add a dash of powdered ginger to your favorite vegetable stir-fry. Maybe you'll sprinkle it into oatmeal for a new twist. With each small addition, you're building an environment in your body that's more resilient and quicker to adapt when exposed to unwanted germs. The emotional benefits here are also worth noting. Taking charge of your diet in this gentle, flavorful way can boost your sense of confidence and autonomy. You're not reliant on big, sweeping changes, just small, enjoyable tweaks that can lead to steady improvements. Plus, experimenting with new recipes can bring a sense of adventure. You might feel more excited about mealtime again, rediscovering pleasure and curiosity in the kitchen. Before we move on, consider one small question. Is there a particular spice or herb you've always been curious about but never tried? Write it down or say it out loud. That could be your very next step toward embracing ancient wisdom in a modern world. Our journey continues with a third misconception, one that many seniors hold about slowing down as they age. You may have heard that you need to be careful about physical activity to avoid strain. But one of the greatest gifts you can offer your immune system is movement that's rooted in ancient practices such as Tai Chi or Qigong. These artful exercises blend graceful motions with mindful awareness, creating a meditative flow that simultaneously strengthens the body and calms the mind. A lot of people think that once they hit 70, the safest route is to reduce physical exertion to a minimum. And certainly we all have to respect our body's signals, especially if we're dealing with arthritis or mobility limitations. But consider Edward, a 77-year-old who felt confined to his recliner due to stiff knees and a fear of falling. When his neighbor invited him to a Tai Chi class at the local senior center, Edward almost declined. He assumed it was for fitter, more mobile people. To his surprise, the instructor showed him gentle modifications, like doing certain movements while seated, and guided him through slow, flowing routines that actually loosened up his joints. Within weeks, Edward noticed he had better balance and felt more in tune with his body. The gentle twisting, bending, and stretching motions also helped his circulation. He might not be running marathons, but he found a new sense of body confidence he hadn't felt in years. And while he couldn't measure his immunity per se, he realized he felt more resilient and had fewer of the nagging colds that plagued him in previous winters. Experts suggest that exercises focusing on gradual, fluid movements support the lymphatic system, a crucial part of your body's immune machinery, by improving the flow of lymph fluid. The lymphatic system, unlike the blood circulatory system, doesn't have its own pump, so it relies on muscle movements to keep fluids moving. Each time you gently shift your arms in a Tai Chi form, you're nudging that lymph fluid to travel, carrying immune cells to where they're needed and helping filter out waste. What's especially encouraging is that you don't need to sign up for an intimidating gym program. Many community centers offer beginner-friendly classes tailored to older adults. There are also short online videos featuring seated Tai Chi or Qigong demonstrations. The key is to start wherever you are. Maybe that's 5 minutes of slow arm circling and mindful breathing. Or maybe it's a 20-minute routine. You get to set the pace. The emotional lift comes from reconnecting with your body in a positive way, rather than viewing it as a source of limitations. There's a quiet joy in feeling your muscles coordinate in a flowing pattern, noticing the subtle warmth in your joints and the sense of mental clarity that follows. It's a reminder that you can continue to cultivate strength and grace, regardless of age. While we're on the topic of movement and mindfulness, I'd love to know, have you ever tried a class like Tai Chi, Qigong, or yoga? If not, what's stopping you? Sometimes naming that obstacle makes it easier to overcome. Now that we've touched on emotional stress relief, herbal treasures, and mindful movement, let's transition to a crucial aspect of immune health that most people overlook, our breath. One of the biggest misconceptions about breathing is that we already do it well by default. After all, if we're alive, we must be breathing, right? The truth is that many seniors have adopted shallow, chest-based breathing patterns, often due to stress, sedentary lifestyles, or simply habit. This shallow breathing can limit the amount of oxygen circulating through your body and create subtle imbalances that weaken immune resilience. Picture Anna, age 69, who noticed she felt constantly fatigued even though her daily routine wasn't especially demanding. She chalked it up to just getting older. But then she attended a wellness workshop where the speaker demonstrated diaphragmatic breathing, filling your abdomen with air rather than just your chest. Over the course of the workshop, Anna realized she rarely took a full, deep breath. She started practicing slow inhales through the nose, focusing on expanding her belly and slow exhales through pursed lips. The difference in her energy levels over the next few weeks was significant. She reported fewer late afternoon slumps and generally felt more upbeat. From an evidence-based standpoint, deep abdominal breathing helps lower cortisol levels, the stress hormone that, when elevated over long periods, can hamper immune function. Better oxygenation can enhance circulation, supporting the delivery of nutrients and immune cells throughout the body. That's why many ancient healing traditions, from yoga to Qigong, place so much emphasis on breathwork as a cornerstone of health. To get started, try a simple 2-part exercise. First, observe your current breathing. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly and see which hand moves more when you inhale. If it's your chest hand, you're likely a shallow breather. Next, focus on sending each inhale down to your belly so that your lower hand rises. As you exhale, let your belly gently sink back. Initially, it might feel foreign, but with practice, it becomes more natural. Emotionally, deep breathing can be an instant calm switch. It also connects you to the present moment, reducing anxiety about the future or regrets about the past. In many ways, it's a form of mini meditation you can do anytime, while watching TV, waiting in line, or even before drifting off to sleep. And the ripple effect on your immune system can be profound, adding yet another layer to your growing toolbox of ancient secrets. We've covered 4 core ideas so far. If you're noticing a theme of gentle, consistent practice, you're on the right track. Sometimes the most powerful changes come from simple shifts done regularly. Now would be a great moment to pause and reflect. Which of these ideas resonates most with you? Jot it down or make a mental note. That spark of curiosity could be the very thing that motivates you to try something new. Next, let's look at one of the oldest forms of immune support known to many traditional cultures: probiotic-rich and fermented foods. A lot of people think gut health is solely about digestion. They might say, "I'm just dealing with a bit of constipation or heartburn," without realizing that their gut flora, those microscopic organisms living in their digestive tract, play a critical role in immune function. The misconception is that gut health only matters if you have a diagnosed digestive issue. But an unbalanced gut environment can undermine your immune defenses quietly, making you more susceptible to colds, flus, or even general fatigue. Consider Linda, a 72-year-old with a long history of stomach sensitivities. She was intrigued when she learned that in many parts of the world, fermented foods like kefir, sauerkraut, and miso soup have been dietary staples for centuries. People who regularly consume these foods often report better overall health. Linda decided to give it a try, adding a small serving of plain yogurt and a tablespoon of sauerkraut to her lunches. Over a few weeks, she noticed less bloating and an unexpected bonus. When her grandchildren brought a mild cold into the house, she recovered more quickly than usual. She was thrilled that such a simple tweak could have a noticeable effect. Modern understanding of the gut's microbiome sheds light on why this works. Beneficial bacteria help regulate inflammation and communicate with the body's immune cells. When you eat fermented foods or take probiotic supplements recommended by your healthcare provider, you're essentially nurturing these good bacteria. In return, they support the production of certain vitamins and help keep harmful microbes at bay. If you're new to fermented foods, start slowly. Some people find the tangy taste of sauerkraut or kimchi intense at first. You might begin with a spoonful mixed into a salad or alongside your main meal. If dairy suits you, a small cup of plain, unsweetened yogurt with live cultures can be a gentle introduction. Another option is kombucha, a fermented tea beverage. Though it can be high in acidity for some, the key is moderation. A little bit consistently can go a long way. Emotionally, there's something empowering about taking charge of your gut health. You might feel a sense of relief knowing you're actively supporting an entire ecosystem within your body, a hidden community that works around the clock for your well-being. As you explore these foods, you can even bring a sense of adventure to your meals, perhaps trying new cuisines or recipes you never considered before. For those who need a more cautious approach, maybe due to underlying conditions or medications, talking to a healthcare provider about the right kind of probiotic can be a helpful step. Remember, we're focusing on synergy here, small changes that add up to big transformations over time. Our next and final point pulls all these layers together by focusing on a crucial, yet often neglected aspect of life: restorative sleep. Most of us have heard that seniors need less sleep, or that insomnia is just part of getting older. This is a misconception that can seriously undermine immunity. Sleep is when your body does the housekeeping it needs to repair cells, balance hormones, and re-energize your immune system. Cutting that process short, or filling it with restless tossing and turning, means your body doesn't get the downtime required for optimal defense. Alan, at age 75, struggled with frequent nighttime awakenings. He thought it was simply his fate to be up and down all night. But then a friend suggested he look into some age-old evening rituals, such as limiting bright lights and stimulating activities after dusk. Alan also tried a foot soak infused with lavender before bed, an old remedy said to calm the mind and draw tension out of the body. Within 2 weeks, he found himself sleeping more soundly, sometimes waking only once or twice instead of half a dozen times. His daytime energy improved and he noticed fewer aches and pains overall, which in turn boosted his desire to stay active. From a modern scientific viewpoint, quality sleep is intricately linked with immune function. During the deeper stages of rest, your body releases cytokines, proteins that help fight infection and inflammation. If you're consistently sleep-deprived, the production of these protective proteins can drop. Even vaccination responses have been shown to be more effective in well-rested individuals. To improve your sleep, consider weaving in relaxing bedtime traditions that honor our body's natural rhythms. Dim the lights in your home an hour or so before bed, mimicking the sunset. Turn off or minimize electronic devices, or at least switch them to a night mode that filters out blue light. If possible, treat yourself to a gentle wind-down routine. Maybe reading a few pages of a favorite book, sipping on chamomile tea, or doing a few minutes of gentle stretches. And if lavender soaks aren't your style, simply massaging your feet or hands can send signals to your nervous system that it's safe to power down. The emotional and physical payoff is huge. A well-rested body is better equipped to handle the unexpected, whether it's a sudden weather change or a bug going around the community. And the peace of mind you gain from feeling truly rested can spill over into every part of your day, reinforcing all the other healthy habits you've been learning about. We've covered 6 interwoven ideas: attending to emotional well-being, infusing your diet with immune-boosting herbs, exploring gentle ancient movements, embracing deep breathing, nourishing your gut with fermented foods, and prioritizing restorative sleep. Together, these form the foundation of an age-old approach that many seniors overlook. You might try 1 or 2 ideas at first, and there's no need to overwhelm yourself. The beauty of this path is that you can go at your own pace, and each small success encourages you to explore further. Now let's take a moment to see where this journey could lead. You may have begun to imagine feeling more confident in crowded settings, knowing your immune system is stronger. You could be picturing yourself with more sustainable energy, participating in activities with family or friends you might have passed on before. Or maybe the biggest draw is simply fewer moments lost to sniffles, aches, and fatigue, giving you more time to savor the experiences you treasure, like hobbies, trips, or just peaceful days at home. It's helpful to remember that these changes aren't about perfection or quick fixes. We're talking about time-tested strategies that work gradually and synergistically. Stress relief, herbal wisdom, gentle exercises, better breathing, a balanced gut environment, and quality sleep all reinforce each other. If you find even one of these points to be enlightening, that's a big step in the right direction. Still, it's easy to keep putting off new habits until things settle down. But here's the reality. Life rarely slows to a perfect still moment. There's always a new appointment, a family event, or a pressing chore. If you wait until everything is calm, you could miss out on months or even years of the benefits these practices can bring. That's why there's a certain urgency in starting now, without turning it into a source of anxiety. Think of it more as a kind invitation to yourself. I deserve to feel better and stronger starting today. Incorporating these simple ancient principles can also open doors to deeper connections with your own body and spirit. Some seniors find that once they begin a nightly foot soak or morning meditation, they become more mindful of other daily routines, leading to healthier eating choices or more consistent follow-ups with their healthcare provider. One positive habit naturally encourages another. So how can you begin? You might start with the smallest, most doable action, like adding a daily cup of ginger and lemon tea to your morning routine, or giving yourself 5 minutes of mindful breathing before bed. If you're feeling adventurous, you could look up a beginner Tai Chi class in your community or try a short online routine. Or maybe you'll decide to experiment with a probiotic-rich yogurt for breakfast. Whatever step you choose, approach it with curiosity rather than pressure. If you're someone who loves accountability, you could invite a friend or family member to join you in one of these practices. Imagine checking in with each other regularly, sharing your experiences, and celebrating small victories together. If you prefer a more private route, keep a little journal to note down how you feel as you incorporate each new element. There's something powerful about looking back over your notes and seeing how far you've come. By now, you've heard about multiple ways to fortify your immune system rooted in ancient wisdom. It's a reminder that our ancestors had a deep understanding of the body's rhythms and a wealth of practical tools for keeping it strong. When combined with modern knowledge and the guidance of healthcare professionals, these strategies can be truly transformative. The journey forward is yours to choose. You might watch this once and think, nice ideas, but I'm set in my ways. Or you might say, I'll give it a try, and open a door to feeling healthier, more vibrant, and more in tune with yourself than you have in years. Whether you take a small or large step, doing something is always better than doing nothing, especially when it comes to nurturing your immune defenses. If you found today's discussion helpful, you could share it with friends or neighbors who might also benefit. In fact, starting a little wellness circle where everyone tries a new habit together can be a wonderful community-building project. You could also subscribe or follow along if more practical health tips are something you'd like to keep exploring. Sometimes having regular reminders makes all the difference in following through. But no matter what you decide, know that you already hold a wealth of inner wisdom from your lifetime of experiences. This is just an invitation to tap into it in a new way, to combine the best of ancient traditions with your own unique perspective. And as you move forward, stay open to the possibility that small changes, done consistently, can lead to powerful, life-enhancing results. Here's to a future filled with resilience, vitality, and the joy that comes from feeling in harmony with your body. You've made it this far, and there's so much more ahead. Trust yourself, trust the process, and remember, it's never too late to discover and embrace an ancient secret that can strengthen your immunity and enrich every facet of your life. Now, before we wrap up, let's consider one final question. If you could feel a touch stronger, a bit more refreshed, or slightly more at peace by this time next week, would it be worth investing 5 or 10 minutes a day to explore one of these practices? If your answer is yes, then you already know the next step. Simply begin. And that is truly the essence of these ancient secrets. They become powerful precisely when we put them into action. Your body, mind, and spirit are more adaptable than you might think. Give them a chance to show you just how much more life and vitality can flourish within you.